I'm going to start today by asking a very important question. Who are you? Now, if you haven't asked that question, you soon will. And this question is a very definitive one for many of us. It's a question of identity. Identity is something about us that is our core and our essence. It's what we think we are, is who we have come to believe we are. But the reality of life is that many times we tend to define our identity or find identity in many false layers or false things about us. Let me help you here. If you define yourself as the roles, the titles, the nice things you have, your profile, the university you went to, the family you're from, these are amazing things. I mean, they enrich us. I mean, we are blessed to have them. But if any of these things is the source of your identity, you will soon run into crisis. You will not always be a CEO. You will not always be a pastor. Maybe you will not always be the one holding that title. The title was before you and will always remain long after you're gone. So let's get out of that. The titles can't define us. We have them for what they are, but they are not our source of meaning. They are not your source of significance. Now, what about what we drive, where we live? These are all status symbols and vanity metrics that we use to hide the question of who am I? You will not always have that car. You will not always live in that place. Those things will change. And here is the crisis. If your career is your source of meaning, if your job is your source of meaning, if your business is your source of meaning, if your gifts and your talents and your skill, that is the base upon which you define your identity, one day you find somebody who is hotter than you, who is more skilled than you, who is more talented than you, and you get into crisis. And when those things are a source of meaning for you, every failure will get to your heart and every success will get to your head because you feel you've achieved it. Christ asked his disciples in Matthew 13, who the Messiah, I am, and Peter answered, thou the Christ, the Son of the living God. I said, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you. The key word for me is reveal. Identity is not something we're educated into. If not, every educated man with a degree today can answer that question for themselves, but they're not answering the question because our degrees can't answer that for us. It takes a revelation of who we are from our Creator and our Maker to fix our identity crisis. Ours is a generation that is buried and battling under all kinds of identity crisis, inferiority complex, imposter syndrome, self-esteem issues, low self-worth. All of these things are things that are probing, nagging at us and waking us up. Because why? Culture can't articulate sufficiently who we are. Culture will tell you you're what you drive, you're where you live, you're what you wear, you perform, therefore I am, you're what you do. None of these things will last. The Bible has given us a clear basis upon identity. Our identity is found in the fact that we are loved by God, fully accepted. And today, begin the journey of transitioning from your memory, from your status, from your roles, to a new identity of who you are that is the core of the fact that God loves you. Let the definition of Christ be the basis upon which you define yourself, that you're loved by God, fully accepted by Him. Bless you.